Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, where today I've got some event quests to do, and also some complaints about event quests to do. Like, here's the thing. We look at high rank event quests. We've got 6 full pages of 8, so that's 48 event quests. You know how many of them feature Rajang? 2. 2 feature Rajang. Master rank. We've got 2 full pages plus 7, so that's 23 event quests. There are 5 that feature Rajangs. There are monsters other than Rajang in Master rank. Hey, Wolfkinson. And I believe last I checked, there were 12 M5 plus quests. So M5 or M6. So there's now 13 of them. And of those 13 quests that can have Rajang, 5 of them do. That is too many! There are lots of monsters that can be in those quests. It's more than just Rajang. More than just Rajang. I like Rajang in this game. But please, make more event quests with the other monsters. There are some monsters that haven't shown up in event quests yet. Fix that before you do another Rajang quest. Anyway, let's do a Rajang quest. Hey, Reggie's, now that they've revealed the silhouette for the 4th title update monster, I am comfortable saying it is probably not going to be Amatsu. I think what we're most likely to see at this point is Velkhana based on the silhouette. I kind of hope it's not going to be Velkhana, but I think it's going to be Velkhana. So we've got a regular Astalos here just to be here, huh? And as always, the fence is for cowards, and I am no coward, so I will use no fence. Oh, that's nice. Usually in arena quests, all the monsters present are actually quest targets, so you don't get to ride them very early on, but since this Astalos is not a quest target, it is mountable very early on. Yeah, having Velkhana wouldn't be terrible. I was just kind of hoping we'd see a monster that was not in literally the last Monster Hunter game to come out before Rise. I'd rather have a monster who's taken a break than a monster who we just got. No matter how fun the monster we just got is. not like to cart here. Dang it. And I have cart. That was a multi-hit? Could have sworn I was above the not adrenaline, the Moxie threshold. Sure love when Adrenaline Rush activates, but I still take the hit. Yes, I definitely dodged through the attack. And get the bonuses for so doing. But, it's still taking the hit. This quest would be nothing if they didn't have the pesky Astalos hanging out. Definitely added a big wrinkle to it. Of course, it also wouldn't be as much of an interesting quest if I used the fence, which is why I do not use the fence. The fence is for cowards. Oh, nice. The Astalos got into the Paracloud too. I mean, there's not a whole lot of value to riding this Rajang, but might as well. Okay, and now... Okay, was really hoping it would have managed to be mount ready again, but too early. Still on cooldown. Probably should have just gone to at least knock it down for a mounted Punisher and then done the wall bonks. Then I might have at least had some time with the Astalos on the floor. It is nice that this Astalos keeps on giving this monkey Thunderblight. Hey, we broke his tail. That was a very short rage. That was close. I don't know why I'm sharpening first. I should heal. My health is somewhat low. And that's what I get for looking at chat instead of the screen. Ripe for the capture, you say? That just means we're almost done killing it. I'm not going to capture this thing. Yeah, get him, get him, get him! There we go. All right, come on over here, buddy. Or you can sit there and be tired. That's also an option. Of course. Reggie's, it is almost certainly not going to be a subspecies or variant of Velkhana, simply because they used the term returning Elder Dragon, so it's going to be something that's been in the series before. That's a lot of eggs! That is too many eggs! But yeah, it's an Elder Dragon that we have seen before. And if it was a new variant, they probably would have called it a variant. If it was a subspecies, they would have called it a subspecies. If it's going to be Velkhana, it's just going to be Velkhana. Almost certainly. Like, there's a chance that it could be not just standard Velkhana, but I doubt it. Wolfkinson, the answer is a lot. It is a lot of money. So if ever you need money, this monkey, you fight this monkey. This hunter-loving aristocrat was not lying when he said he'd pay us handsomely, though. We just saw an Astalos, so we'll wait on that one. Yeah, let's start the year off with a bang. Capcom actually just announced that Title Update 4, they're going to add loadouts so that we can have our equipment loadouts and our item loadouts and our layered loadouts all on the same thing, which is going to make it so I can finally actually use layered weapons without hating the system. That's going to be nice. Oh, yeah. Though I kind of wish that they'd still divorce it from item loadouts. Because just because you're bringing a set of gear and appearance does not necessarily mean that the same items are always going to be useful. Like, say I'm bringing an ice weapon. So I'm bringing my ice loadout. Depending on what I'm fighting, the items I need to bring are very different. Like, if I am fighting a Diablos, I'm going to want sonic bombs and I'm going to want maybe traps. But if I'm fighting a Teostra or something, well, then maybe I don't want those sonics or traps. So I think item loadouts should still be separate, but it's easy enough to just, if you want to go really crazy, just make an item set for every monster in the game and equip the one that you're about to go fight. But yeah, I think the item loadout and equipment loadout could still stand to be separate. Oh, gold large. I wonder if that's fixed. Probably is. Particularly angry. And the Rajang from the last one is probably also fixed to gold small. I hope this is event big, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just regular big. You know what? Before it spots us. Wait, why am I using a dragon weapon? I only just realized. I was like, why did I grab my dragon weapon? I thought I grabbed my ice weapon. Was I just not paying enough attention? I was not paying enough attention. That's what it was. They give us Farcasters for a reason. Yeah, probably just hit down one time too many. The only reason that I even went into my equipment loadouts was because I was talking about them and because I figured, hey, that'll get me my Wyvern exploit thing in instead of the Fanged Beast one that I had. This being a Wyvern exploit is 5% more damage, which is good. Wasted the spare wire bug I grabbed. Rude. That was close. I'm going to do something that I've been forgetting to do for the last few hundred quests. In fact, for pretty much the entirety of my Sunbreak playthrough, I'm going to use the Felvine because it makes Cat stronger. And if I'm really trying to do things as well as possible, I should probably be keeping that on cooldown as best I can. Just for the damage output. Good job. Nicely done, dog. Ooh, good arrow. Now I'm curious, if you bring two cats, does use the Felvine get both at once, or do you get two use the Felvine commands? Or does it only get one ever? Good, it missed. Excuse me, I wanted that to stay icy? that almost failed. Game, please. Why is Basil so not good to control? This thing's turn radius is the worst I've seen. Well, maybe not worse than a flying Rathalos, but still, it's the worst I've seen for a monster that's on the ground. What was that last knockdown about? I was thinking that maybe someone had flinched the face and gotten the knockdown that way, but I guess it must have been a leg knockdown? Those are some pretty high numbers there, Reggies. Keep it up. On the subject of other versions of this game, it's interesting. They just did infographic showing, you know, the various cross-system compatibilities of the upcoming PlayStation, Xbox, and Windows versions of this game. And they actually made it so that the PS4 and PS5 versions could transfer saves, which in an interview a long time ago, they said that they would not be able to do that, which makes you wonder how they made it so that they can now. Like, did they actually change something, or was the interview mistaken? If the interview was mistaken, you have to wonder why they didn't correct it back then, considering they took an L they didn't have to. Max, are you forgetting that literally the first time we ever fight Velkhana in Iceborne, it is in the Elder's Recess, having just bathed in lava? Volcano Khana's been a thing since the very beginning. Nah, Max, I've said it before, I don't expect this to be anything other than a standard Velkhana, because they used the term returning Elder Dragon, and if If it was anything other than just a standard Velkhana, you know they would have called it a new variant or a new subspecies. But instead, it's just returning Elder Dragon. It's gonna be standard Velkhana. Max, this room is not open until I finish clearing the event quests that I've missed. Why am I going to Buddy Dojo? I need Meowsnaries. So in like 4 more quests, this room will be open. Excuse me, that's not my screenshot button. What? Well, cool. Thanks, Steam. So, my Steam settings for my controller have, for the longest time, I've made it so that the screenshot button on my PS5 controller is the screenshot button instead of the select button like they want it to be. And I've made it so that the touchpad that I have in the middle of this thing, I've been setting both sides to be the select button. Because it's got 2 separate inputs. One for clicking the right side, one for clicking the left side in. That's how I've had it this entire time. Because that's what makes most games function the same on this controller on PC as they would on a PlayStation. But apparently, a recent Steam update added native support for the DualSense controller instead of having it pretend to be a PS4 controller. And in doing that, they ruined my changed bindings. And yeah, I've been getting weird results in a variety of different games, and it's never... The touchpad never does exactly what I expect it to. And now my screenshot button does literally nothing, so I guess I just... if I want to bring up the map or anything, I gotta do it through the menu, which apparently you can't do, so I just... Oh, wait. I can do that, and then... But that's not the kind of map I need. I wanted to see the chat log, because that's what lets me see if I missed any other notifications other than Meowsnaries have returned. And it used to be I could hold the button that opens the world map, which instead brings us to the chat menu, and then hit square. So it was just simple. I see, even there, it shows use the touchpad to open the world map. And if I hold that button, it would bring up the chat menu, and then I could just hit square. So it's 2 button presses brings me to that, instead of needing to go menu diving. But now my touchpad is just a really big screenshot button. Thanks, Steam. This one's actually going to give us layered armor stuff. This one is just a quest for a gold large seething basil. Okay. Yeah, let's go get some layered stuff. Another gold large. Okay, I wonder if this one's fixed. Probably not, considering the Lunagaran is only uncomfortably small and not gold small. So far, we are 3 for 3 for having crowns in quests. Wolfkinson, the colors of the glows around the elements that this mod is giving actually show which exploit gem works on that monster. So it matches the color of the exploit gem, and the green one means no exploit gem is actually effective. Just use the one that makes your pets do more damage. Also, I'm glad at least one of the event quests that I hadn't done is on this map. I figured there was a good chance of it, which is why I used it as the background for the thumbnail, but I did not know for sure. Always feels good to dodge roars. If I didn't know that this gore was gold large, I honestly would have thought it was small. Clearly, I haven't played this game in too long. Also, I just realized that it seems you can see my frame rate counter in the top left. That is not supposed to be visible on stream. Nice. But, hey, you can see how very locked I am to 60 frames per second because, my PC is too strong for this game. My PC is actually too strong for itself, I learned during my break. Because while I was taking time off, I experimented with playing several different games to... Because over the past few months, I've been upgrading a lot of things on my PC, and I did a major CPU and motherboard upgrade a little while ago, which ended up with my PC unplugged for an entire week because of missing things and broken things during the upgrade process. that was an ordeal. But, yeah, since I had everything put together and my upgrade was complete, I had finished my PC of Theseus. Not a single part of it is the same as the PC that I bought from Hewlett-Packard. What was that, like 2 years ago? 1 year ago? No, it's got to be 2. I think. Year and a half, maybe. I don't know. Either way, the pre-built PC I bought from HP, every single part in it has now been completely replaced, while retaining continuity of it being my PC, because it was replaced piece by piece. And, yeah. I've got the most powerful GPU on the market, one of the most powerful CPUs on the market. Got some good RAM, got good storage. Everything in this thing is great. And there's just one problem. I have it plugged into an uninterruptible power supply so that in case I lose power, my PC can stay on for just long enough for me to like shut down and not have anything be harmed or lose any data. Because that's kind of important when your PC is also your livelihood. But, yeah, I've got it plugged into an uninterruptible power supply. It's an 850 watt uninterruptible power supply, UPS. 80 watts. Or, not 80, 850 watts, which, my PC, as I got it from HP, and in fact, up until these last few upgrades, was never able to actually reach that 850 watt threshold. All of its parts at max power draw would still stay under that. But while I was experimenting with different games over my break, I tried to see how well I could run Cyberpunk, just because. And the answer is I can run it with absolutely every setting cranked to the maximum, and stay locked at 60 frames per second as long as I had DLSS quality mode enabled. Which, hey, that's a good-looking game when you've got it set like that. Problem, though. After an hour of play, the power draw exceeded the 850 watts and tripped my UPS and crashed my entire system. The power draw is too much. Which means, unless I want to dial some settings down while playing the most infamously demanding game on the market, I'm going to have to get a new UPS. We have broken everything on this Gormagala except for his face. We broke his feelers, but not his face. Max, they haven't added more afflicted mats to the coin shop because they haven't patched the game yet. Title Update 4 is coming in February. Yeah, when it came to actually doing the last upgrade to my PC, it was a real ordeal. So I had been waiting to see what Intel would announce for their... Because when they announced the 13 series CPUs, they said that in 2023 they would be releasing a CPU with clocks of 6 gigahertz out of the box, I believe it was. So I was thinking, okay, so why should I buy a 13900K when I can just wait for that CPU with even higher clocks out of the box and get that when it comes out early next year? I will wait for that. So I had delayed my plans to do the full CPU upgrade until that was available. But then it turned out, hey, wait, that CPU that they announced that would have those boost clocks, it's the 13900KS. It's just a 13900K that they let boost a little higher at the cost of higher energy draw. And chances are, if you're lucky, a 13900K that you bought before then would be able to boost to the exact same value, because the KS is just the top bin of the 13900K. So it's just the ones that happen to be able to boost higher by pure silicon lottery. And you could get those same clocks potentially out of just a standard 13900K. So I was like, okay, so if I'm going to get a KS, it's going to boost higher, but it's going to take more power to do so. If I get a 13900K and put it in my PC with everything that it's got going on right now, it could conceivably... Well, it should be just fine with my 1000-watt power supply. Nothing conceivable about it. Like, my 1000-watt power supply is enough for what I have. But the KS, with its announced power draw, I would have needed a new power supply in addition to a new motherboard and new RAM, because I wanted to upgrade to DDR5. So if I was to wait for the KS, I would be waiting and also making myself pay a few $100s more for both the CPU itself and for the new power supply. And it was like, nah, I'm just not going to wait so that I can pay a few $100s extra for, what, a maybe 5% performance uplift in the CPU, which isn't even that heavily taxed for gaming? No. And so I did my upgrade early. I went and got a new motherboard with a new CPU and new RAM, and was just going to put those into my PC and have myself a nice upgrade for a relatively reasonable price. Still expensive, but relatively reasonable. And so yeah, I did some research on what motherboard I wanted, and was one that I was looking at that would have been my first choice. It's by the same manufacturer as my GPU, so I would have been able to consolidate my motherboard RGB and my GPU RGB into one program, instead of needing to run two programs to handle both of those, which, hey, that would have been nice. I would have been able to get rid of... Honestly, the program I have running my motherboard's RGB is basically just bloatware. So I would have been able to get rid of that. But, turns out, the PCIe slots are important. The expansion slots into which I put my GPU and my capture card. Because... I mean, GPU, you kind of need that, so that was going to be there no matter what. But the capture card. My capture card I need in order to be able to capture gameplay from HDMI sources. So if I'm playing anything that isn't strictly a PC game, my capture card is what I go through. And it requires a certain amount of PCIe lanes in order to function. The motherboard that I had been looking at as my first choice, it did have a good amount of space between the first PCIe slot for the graphics card and the second and third slots. The problem is my graphics card is too big, and it would have just barely made that second slot inaccessible, which on my existing motherboard, it already did exactly that. It made the second slot completely inaccessible. It was completely covered. So where's the issue then? I just put the capture card in the third slot like normal, like I've been doing. The problem is the manufacturer of what would have been my first choice motherboard made it so that the third slot had fewer lanes available to it for whatever reason, and thus it would not have been able to run my capture card. So I had to go with my second choice, which is just the bigger numbers version of the motherboard that I already had, because, hey, it's just the more recent version of the same motherboard. It's got the same layout. It's got the same amount of lanes in that third slot, so I know for a fact it's going to work. I would have been able to get my first choice motherboard as a new in-box one if it had worked, but it didn't. So I got the one that was just a direct upgrade to what I already had. Except, oops, the store I went to did not have it new in stock. But they had one open box one that I could take, so yeah, I'll just grab that. It's warranted, so I can return it for a full refund, no questions asked, within 30 days, and that'll be the end of it if there's a problem. But there probably won't be, because they've looked and tested everything, and everything looked fine when I looked at it. So I bring it home after having driven an hour and a half up to the store and an hour and a half back. And so the next day, I get to work assembling my computer again. Or rather, disassembling my computer. And then I take out the motherboard and look at it and realize, hey, wait. There's a bent pin in the USB 3.0 header for the case USBs. That isn't great. Wow, it looks like it's really mashed. Like someone tried to plug in their case USBs and absolutely just mangled the thing, because it must have not been perfectly straight, so it got crushed down into a corner. Maybe with tweezers I can very carefully bend it back. No, it just popped right out. The thing was barely even in there. A game's audio is delayed. That's not good. Hang on a sec. I will see if I can fix this. I don't know that I can, but I can try. Just hang on a sec. I really wish I had pass-through available on my OBS so that I could press buttons and see how it reacts. But, yeah, if it is something that I can fix, it should be fixed now. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, anyway, yeah, the motherboard, it had problems with that case USB header. And so, my choices were, because of the specific pin that was that was bent and broken and broke off, I had a choice. Either let one of my case's front USB headers not work, which I had my keyboard and my mouse plugged into those, so I could have gone without it. The new motherboard does have 2 additional USB slots, so I wouldn't have lost anything relative to my old setup. But having a non-functional USB socket, or USB slot thing, is just a non-starter for me. I wanted to have access to everything on my computer and have it work. And so I went to return the motherboard. Another hour-and-a-half drive each way. Got it returned, got my money back. They didn't have any alternatives whatsoever in stock anymore at that point. They had no motherboards of the generation that I was looking for. And so I went home empty-handed. But I had checked before going what the wait time on getting a new motherboard, like new in box, from Amazon would have been. And at the time, it would have been like another week. And it was like, okay, if I have to. But I'll check the store that I'm going to first and make sure they have no other options first. They had no other options. But by the time I had gotten out of the store, Amazon's delivery estimate was only 3 days instead of a whole week later. So it was like, okay, I'm cool with that. I can wait a few days. And then oh, right, before that happened. But yeah, I ordered it from Amazon, and it arrived only, like, 2 days later instead of 3, so that was nice. But even before that, before I started assembling the PC and realized, hey, wait, this motherboard is busted, there was another problem before that. The cooler that I have on my, or that I had on my CPU, an AIO liquid cooler. It came with mounting hardware for the Intel 12th gen CPU socket, which the 13th gen CPU, the 13900K that I have, can be used in that 12th gen socket. But in the 13th gen socket, which my new motherboard has, it needed a different mounting brace, a different mounting hardware to get a good mount on the CPU and thus be effective as a cooler. Which, yeah, I wasn't about to try it. I wasn't about to be like, it's probably fine with a part as important and expensive as a CPU. So yeah, I wasn't gonna risk it. So I had to check, and the manufacturer of my old cooler did offer free upgrade parts to mount it on the new socket. And I placed an order for those free upgrade parts and got back from them almost immediately. Hey, it's back ordered. We'll get it shipped out to you when we can. And by the way, that apparently is exactly today. Today I got the package with the new mounting hardware. Which today is 2 weeks late. So before I even started before I started the assembly of stuff, I checked Or I did that. I ordered a new cooler because that would arrive faster than the the upgrade parts. And it did. And I got a cooler from the same manufacturer as most of my cases RGB fans. So I did get to remove one program that was just there to handle the fancy lights of something that I had in my case. I did get to consolidate one thing. But yeah, got a new cooler because I didn't want to wait weeks for this upgrade that I had already started on. And when the new cooler arrived is when I started prepping the motherboard for everything, and that's when I realized that I had the missing pin. But yeah, it was an ordeal upgrading my computer. And it's finally upgraded, and now it is too strong for my uninterruptible power supply. I have flown too close to the sun. My wings, they are burnt. Okay, Bisha 10's gone. That's good. Let's get our carves. Oh, my health is going down because bloodlust. Oh, don't come this way. Good. And now this is just a Magmadron hunt. Magmadron always hits a lot harder than I expect it to. And there's our tail cut. So the fact that these two are both gold large tells me that this quest is almost certainly guaranteed crowns. I enjoy that. Having fun? Oh, it was just one hit away. I Bisha 10. Also, I wasn't waiting by this trap to capture it. I was just thinking, hey, that'll make it hold still so I can smack its claw. Well, it went over, gave it a smack, and it just died. Ormagal is actually semi-interesting. But it's still event quest time. And they're both big. I get to keep my water weapon out for this one, though. I'll put a flying exploit in it, because that'll cover 2 of the monsters, and the third one, literally nothing covers anyway. There, aerial exploit, there we go. Silver Large Rathalos. We have yet to do a quest today that didn't have at least 1 crown. Though admittedly, Silver Large is the least interesting crown we've seen yet. There's still a chance for Teo to be another gold crown and keep the gold crown record running. So I'll at least have maxed health before I get to the Rathalos. Typically do a little better than this on yellow birds, but such is life. No yellow bird here either. And Rathalos is on his way in here. Not gonna lie, I forgot Rathalos had that attack he just used. Wow, mount ready? That feels early. Kind of lucky that counted as a wall. And we weren't quite close enough to that. You forgot what monsters give what parts, Max. Oh no, if only there was someone who had made a handy-dandy guide for all of the parts that existed when you fell off. If only someone had done that. Yeah, I really feel like they increased the level cap too much in the last patch. Patch before was what, plus 30 levels? That felt fine. Not ideal, but fine. And then this time they're like, have 70 more levels. Oh, cool, a ruby in the tail. Because we all love Rathalos rubies. Yeah, 70 levels is too many for one patch. Just straight up, too many. Unless you're going to have each quest give you 2 or 3 levels. Then it's fine. But no, each quest is giving us sometimes 1 level. Which is not enough. And here it is, our first quest of the day without a gold crown. And now to scoot backwards into this Teo repeatedly. Thought we were going to go for the spider before the Teo, but the fact that the spider got mountable because it went right where the Teo started, yeah, we're sticking with the Teo because he's on the floor. At least they made leveling up quests that are below your cap way faster. That's a positive change, and the ability to level down quests is another positive change. They still need to increase the rate at which our investigation level cap increases for me to think that this system is acceptable in the form it's in. If you're going to use it to gate people, let people open the gates quickly so that they can play with their friends. I know I've had this rant in so many of my streams, but I stand by it. The investigation system, as it appears in this game, needs a lot of work to be good. It's got some good ideas, but they're held back by all of the bad ones. I was talking about you, Max. You made a chart of things, and until the newest set of monsters that they added, that chart is still very valid. There's just also a couple parts added on top of it to each tier. Dang, his horns broke early. And we're probably not getting to use this kit mate. Oh, welcome back, Spider. Please feel free to smack the Teo once and make him mountable, or you can both just leave. Yeah, their solution to making multiplayer in investigations more of a thing was, oh, you can level down your quests to play with your friends, and they level up faster to get to the most recent cap, but, like, then why even have a level requirement to join? If you're just going to make it trivial for them to get up to the most recent level if someone they're playing with is higher. Why not just make it so that it's trivial for anyone to get to any level? And then remove the levels entirely. Just make it HR blocked. Don't add a second gate. Like, it's clear that they can see that there is an issue with keeping people from playing with their friends. But instead of saying, hey, this system was wrong and bad, they're trying to make it work while also removing any value to having had it in the first place. Like, no, we're going to keep the system. We're just going to make it almost meaningless. But not meaningless enough. Max, the leveling down is also for material tiers. But, I mean, it's undeniable that it's also for being able to play with friends, because otherwise it's a case of, hey, I want to play with my friends, but in order to do so, I need my friend to post every single quest, because I cannot post a quest that they are capable of joining. And thus, we are given the ability to level down our quests so that we can post quests for our friends, who, when they just start, they do not have a lot of good quests to post, which makes the getting started part the most agonizing, because it's like, oh boy, can't wait to fight Great Izuchi for the 5th time in a row. Okay, one event quest left. We're getting there. Alright, time for this last check mark in the event quests. Gotta love how none of the monsters share an elemental weakness. I'll just bring lightning, because that is at least good against Kushala. And I'll bring anti-aerial jewel, because that's good against 2 of the monsters here. And we got another gold large. So, only one of the 6 event quests we did today is going to end up having had 0 gold crowns, and it had a silver crown. But as soon as this quest is done, it's time for investigations, which means it's time for no crowns ever. Because investigations have fixed sizes per quest. Because, of course, the quests that we are meant to grind forever cannot possibly have any element of randomness in them. That would make them more fun. I do like that it's raining here right now. The jungle is so nice when it's raining. I honestly kind of wish they'd make it rain a little harder, though, like they did in Gen 2. Like, admittedly, at the time in Gen 2, I wasn't a fan of the whole yet another thing blocking my view by having rain cascading down the screen as if the screen itself was wet from the downpour. But it's actually kind of a nice effect, and if you're playing in a game where there's more than like 15 pixels on the screen at a time, I feel like it wouldn't harm visibility enough. I think they could have done a heavier rain curtain than they have right now. Like in the Monster Hunter Dose opening cinematic, when they're fighting the Kushala in the jungle, and it just suddenly, like it's raining the whole time, but then the downpour just gets catastrophic. That's a really cool visual. I kind of want to see it matched in gameplay when fighting a Kushala here. I want there to be a deluge. I want to see Kushala's Elder Dragon abilities used to the fullest. Yeah, Max, the Guiding Lands grind, if you do it in multi, is not really that bad at all. Like, it feels worse than it is, specifically because they added levels on top of what the Guiding Lands started as. Like, once you get any Guiding Lands region to, like, level 3, which isn't that hard, then it's just super fast to level up any given area of the Guiding Lands, because then you have access to the stuff that's actually worth points. And also, if you play with a friend who has different levels in their Guiding Lands, well then, suddenly you don't really need to bother with leveling half the regions yourself. Now, if you want to get every single region to level 7 all at once, that is a vertical grind. Just gotta kill a few thousand Elder Dragons so that the level caps are raised enough that you can have every region at level 7. And at least the Master Rank and Guiding Lands grinds are both fed by the same activities. run down. Yeah, Max, you gotta do the Tempered Frostfang, because the non-Tempered Frostfang is a USJ quest. And it's kind of silly, because non-Tempered Frostfang came out after Tempered Frostfang, because it was a USJ quest, and a certain global issue delayed the release of the USJ quests, because USJ was closed for a while. And that was a whole thing. So we got Tempered Frostfang before we got Standard Frostfang, because global timing issues. And only the USJ quest has Standard Frostfang, because he needed to be exclusive to USJ. Wow, we got a gold large Kushala too? I guess they're trying to make up for only giving us a silver crown in the last quest. That too early. Needed to wait for my bugs to come back. And this being a 3-monster quest, I am basically guaranteed to not get the horns, so I'm going to go for this tail first. Squids! Good job, squids! Yeah, get them, squids! I love those squids. Want the rain back. Hi, crab. Oh, that was a weird angle. Oh, yeah, I did get the horns. Nice. You need to work on your aim, pig. Figure since there's only Astalos left, I might as well swap to an ice weapon instead of a lightning weapon. Wow, really? A shock trap? Or was that a para? Bonk. Bonk. There's the last rock. Bonk. Okay, this is a para, so that was definitely a shock trap before. And there we go. All currently existent event quests complete. means once I get back to Elgato, I will be opening up for multi. Where'd I leave the tail? Wow, I think this is the closest I've ever gotten to reattaching a tail. That's something. And that was an intentional screenshot. Seriously though, I could hardly have gotten this closer if I tried. Nice Elder Dragon gem. Wait, I need to at least try the new pose sets and gestures and stuff. So, fist bump. That's not a fist that is being used to bump there. That looks like you're trying to do a butt bump. Oh, okay, so this is mirrored. So you're bumping both fists while bending over. That's a really weird kind of fist bump. And then there's new gestures to cower and take a breather. Were wild and elegant here before? I'm sorry, what's elegant about this? I can see the wild part, but elegant? See, that at least gets closer to elegant. Okay, I kind of like that whole levitating with a wire bug thing. That's kind of cute. So it's wild and elegant because one is wild and the other is elegant. Got it. And then we got cower. It's all right. And take a breather. Neat. I'll check out the layered while waiting for people to pop in. So create a lobby. We'll do a passcode. We will, in fact, have a requirement for master rank. We will set it at 30 because why the heck not? You can't stop me. And we are doing... Well, we're doing anomaly investigations, but I don't want to set it as a specific flavor. There we go. And today, being January 13th, and there we go. Nager 7P48 Forple. Welcome to the party, Max. Okay. Now I need to check that new layered armor. Hey, look, it's Frontier gear. What is with Frontier and having the hair be part of the helmet? Let us use our own character's hair with the cat ears. Come on. Why do you always have to have hair be part of the helmet? Max, don't forget to upgrade your armor if you haven't yet since the patch. Because your armor can be upgraded higher to prevent snapping. And welcome to the party, Wolfkinson. And just checking your research levels. We got 120 and 129. And I'm at 131, so we can all do stuff that's 120 plus. That's nice. At least we should all be able to do 120 plus stuff. Oh, we need Max to get one more level so that we can actually do the fun things. Let's see here what I've got at 120 or lower. There. I know that Max cannot possibly complain about this quest, given that it is a Basil in the jungle. Oh, that thing. Yeah. That's a possibility. Well, too bad, Max. We're doing one bagel in the jungle. And there it is. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, specifically Max is often just not allowed to stay in my lobbies. Specifically Max. Oh, your whole game crashed. Okay, so it wasn't the thing. Well, at least there's that. I'm just going to go straight for this bagel. Actually, this is an anomaly investigation. That might not be the best idea, but I'm still going to go straight for the bagel. Okay, that is why we don't just go straight for the bagel. This thing will two-shot me with anything it does. Good to know. And welcome back to the lobby. Ow. Hopefully your game survives this time. Ow. And goodbye again. Max, try and figure out if it crashes when you interact with not specifically the quest board, but with the menu item to open the quest board. Maybe your issue is specifically with the quest board proper. Oh yeah, file checking is also a good idea when things like that are happening. Probably a good thing to do before checking to see if workarounds work. I mean, Max, unless he took it off, it should be on your hotbar. I know I personally have never taken anything off of my hotbar, and the only thing I've put on was a pose set. And here I thought laziness would win the day. That feel when you wirefall in exactly the wrong direction and land on a bomb that then explodes and kills you? I do believe I'm going to go collect a few birds now. Unlike the event quests I was just doing, anomaly investigations at level 120 plus actually do damage. They need to be respected at least a little. That should be enough birds. Trying to get those. Because having increased defense helps at least a little bit. Boom. Gone again. So your file checking has not fixed the issue? Have you tried getting rid of any mods that might show up in the quest menu? Because that might be part of it. Hopefully we can get this working before this Basil dies, because if we go on this quest to try and boost your rank and then finish it without you even being here, that would be silly. Still can't believe how much of an upgrade Velocipre's got aesthetically and functionally relative to older games. They don't look like horrific little goblins anymore. They've got great texture work on them. Their models look believable. They're good. Also, the way they jump, like, makes sense. They move like real animals, and I appreciate that. Okay, welcome back to the lobby. Let's see if we can get you in this quest before it's over. The answer is no, we cannot. But hey, we can try with a different quest. Okay, now to punish you for your disconnecting crimes, we're going to do a quest that I just got. Oh. It's slightly spicier than I had thought it was, but it's what you deserve. Hey, we actually got you joining the quest. That's good. now to see if you can stay on the quest through the entire thing. And of course the Rajang had to be uncomfortably small, but not a crown. Because this just wouldn't be a quality investigation if it had any crowns. Okay, I got my health maxed. Just need a little bit more stamina, and then I'll be good to join in the hunt. That ought to be good enough. You know what, let's just stake it. I sure wish the Espinas family didn't have their entire body become a terrible hit zone when not mad, other than their legs. Forgot about the double jump. Just give it your best shot. And that, Max, is why if you're going to put bombs down, just put them in one spot. Especially if there's a great sword in the party. I'm sorry, how did the Somnicanth win this exchange? And to help us out, now the tail isn't terrible. The Mud Beetle lasted basically just through the exhaustion phase. I wish it would have lasted even longer, but the fact that it did last for the entire exhaustion phase is still good. It means the tail was an appropriate hit zone for the entire time. There we go, we got our dragon fruit. The back is the only break left, and we're probably not getting it because it's a back in a game where mounting doesn't get those. Goodbye, cruel world. I knew zero-summing wouldn't be safe, but I still tried. I got greedy. Dang it. I tried to do exactly what you just did, but my button for that doesn't work. Oh, him dead. I guess it's monkey time. Well, hey, Max, our greed got us, got him low enough on health that Wolfkinson was able to kill him with like 1 or 2 more hits. So clearly we did the right thing. How is that thing mountable again already? I would have sworn that that Somnicant would still be very much on cooldown. Right, this thing isn't afflicted. It's gonna not give me blood blight for free heals. Excuse me. That should get you to 121. Which means you'll be able to do anything that we can do. And that means we'll be able to start doing stupid things. Would you look at that, a Rajang heart. Now I have a dozen of them. Well, if you don't like seeing Gold Rathian, how about we do this instead? Oh boy, Yukumo trash. Gonna be neat when the next patch makes Violet Mizutsune relevant again by having Violet Mizutsune investigations. One hopes. But then again, that would require them to let Violet Mizutsune exist anywhere other than the tower or the Infernal Springs. And the Rathalos is uncomfortably small. Good job grabbing Bird, Max. Surprise, Max goes to ride Basil. News at 11. Wow, I did terribly with green birds. Joke's on him, I got the demon drug down. That triple fireball he just did hit me with every fireball because I was zero-summing his face. It was very rude. How does he even spit fireballs on top of his head anyway? Oh. Bye, Wolfkinson. Well, good news, if you abandon out of the quest, you can still rejoin us. You don't gotta rush too much. This is a higher than level 120 afflicted Silver Rathalos, so this quest is gonna go for a while yet. You might miss a break or two, but Oh, would you look at that? Free crab. Rathlos, where are you going? Do you even know? I guess he just wanted to be over here. Welcome back to the lobby. Oh, right. Those are going to explode. Said flash. Yeah, you gotta specifically abandon if you want to rejoin, because won't let you back in a quest you've gotten anything from. And now the face is a good hit zone. Why am I carving this right now? Because it had a mantle in it. He tried to leave. Why does he have to fly up the ledge? I only got one bonk because of that. I should have gone in the tunnel. Oh look, another mantle on the floor. Nice. A wing from every carve. Other than the tail. I see we both had marionette spiders. The game wants me to do a Scorned Magnamalo. It's given me one for each investigation so far. And it is specifically a Scorned Magnamalo. Feel free to take two. Oh. Well then, that one was me, I guess. Let's see if maybe I can join the room again and get back in the quest. There is a possibility that that can happen still. Apparently, I am so communication errored that I cannot look at my friends list. That's intense. Well, I guess I'm playing offline for now. Still gonna do that quest, though. Looking at the time, this is going to be the last quest anyway, so... Could have been worse. At least we got some multi in. And now I can talk about my plans going forward for this year. Because in the lead up to Metroid Dread, I went on a Metroid clearing spree on this channel so that I could say that I had cleared every Metroid game there was on video for this channel. And I did it. I beat every Metroid game, including those original versions of games that had been remade. And there's another series that I've been considering doing that for this year that happens to have a high-profile game releasing this year. I don't think I'll be able to manage it before said game comes out, considering these games are not the types that I'll be able to just beat in a single stream reliably for the earlier ones. But, Zelda. It's the Zelda franchise. And my plan was partially formed because I got an analog pocket, which can play Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color games very well. I've got a dock for it, so I can record from it. And, yeah, I can play the original cartridges of the handheld games and record them, which is a very enticing prospect to me. So I'll be using that. My plan for specifically what games I'm going to hit, I'm going to hit games that... I'm going to hit every game that has not... or that is a meaningfully different version of a game. So, like, Twilight Princess to Twilight Princess HD, I would not describe that as the most meaningful of updates. But Link's Awakening DX to Link's Awakening Switch, that's a meaningful update. Wind Waker to Wind Waker HD is, like, right on the border, because it's still Wind Waker. The game looks and plays great in both versions. I've done Wind Waker HD on this channel. I might do GameCube Wind Waker. Might. Not sure yet. Because, yeah, it's right there on the edge. Because gameplay-wise, they're basically the same game. The difference is just original Wind Waker has more Triforce charts to deal with and no Swift Sail. And, like, visually, yes, they are different, but they're not super different. I mean, they are significantly different, but it's still Wind Waker. It's not like, oh, we remade Wind Waker, like Metroid 1 to Zero Mission or Metroid 2 to Samus Returns. So that's where I'm hung up. But yeah, I'm going to be playing each game that I have not yet played on this channel in the Zelda franchise in as close to original hardware as I can. Which for the NES and Super Nintendo Zeldas, that means Switch Online. And then also, like, Ocarina of Time to Ocarina of Time 3D. I think that one I'll just go OOT 3D. Because they are so close, they even share the same glitches. And OOT 3D just looks better. Majora's Mask is another one where it's... I don't know, maybe I do both the N64 release and the 3DS release, because they actually have some differences, maybe. So yeah, I still need to decide specifically which games I'm going to do, but the plan is to, at the very least, get one version of every Zelda game done on this channel. And thus far, I have done, let's see, I've done Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Breath of the Wild, Triforce Heroes. I don't think I did A Link Between Worlds, though. And is that really all I've done? No, I also did Link's Awakening Switch. So yeah, I've got a bunch of games to do. I need to do Zelda 1, which I've only ever beaten once, and that was... Oof, that was before Twilight Princess came out for the first time. So there's a lot for me to remember there. Zelda 2, I don't think I've ever actually finished. I haven't played A Link to the Past since it came out on GBA. Ocarina of Time, that one I've done relatively recently. Majora's Mask, the last time I played through that was before I started this channel. I actually did a full playthrough of it, planning to have a full playthrough of a game ready for this channel, but oops, the recording messed up and recorded things in an aspect ratio that was entirely wrong and lost a bunch of pixels. So, yeah, didn't ever put that on this channel. And that's the last time I played Majora's Mask. Link's Awakening, I haven't done the original Game Boy version, which I actually still don't have access to, but I do have Link's Awakening Deluxe, which is the same game but with color, so yeah, I'm not going to feel too put out about not doing the black and white version. Looking forward to getting to the Oracle games. Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons are both real good. Minish Cap is real good. Four Swords Adventures is going to be a thing. Yeah, that one will be special. I won't be able to do it in multi, but I will be able to do the single-player version of it, at least. Four Swords. The version of Four Swords that came out with Link to the Past on GBA. I do have the DS re-release of it. And I might be able to convince a friend or two to join me for that one in multi. Because that one's multi-exclusive, so it's either do it with friends or don't do it at all. Wind Waker, I did Wind Waker HD. I might do the GameCube version again. Or, not again, but I might do a GameCube version. Twilight Princess, I'm content with Twilight Princess HD. I don't feel like I have to do Twilight Princess, especially since it is my least favorite 3D Zelda. Skyward Sword, I will do Skyward Sword HD, because I have it and haven't recorded it yet. Haven't even launched it yet, honestly. And then after that, there's, I need to do Link Between Worlds, which should be fun revisiting that one. Might do that one immediately after I do Link to the Past, just so that we get the game and then its sequel. And Triforce Heroes I already did, don't need to redo that. Am I missing anything? I think that's... And I got Breath of the Wild, so that's done. So I think that's everything. It's a bunch of Zelda games that I need to work through, but I'm looking forward to it. I like Zelda games. Especially the handheld Zelda games. Like, for the 2D Zeldas. They did real well with the handheld Zeldas. And interestingly enough, with the exception of Link's Awakening, all of the handheld Zeldas prior to the 3DS, like every Game Boy handheld Zelda other than Link's Awakening, which I guess there's only 3 that were originally developed for handhelds, the 2 Oracle games and Minish Cap. Those were all Capcom games, which is interesting to think about how Nintendo let Capcom handle the Zelda series for handhelds. They did really good job on them. Like, every Capcom developed Zelda game is very good. Nintendo should let Capcom handle their franchises more often. Especially Capcom these days. Capcom's been on a roll making great game after great game. An A7 quest for Scorn Magnamalo, Flaming Espinas, and Apex Argyros. I mean, that depends on how comfortable you are with Flaming Espinas and Scorn Magnamalo mostly. Apex Argyros is... like, it can do a lot of damage, but it's not that hard to dodge its stuff, and it's somewhat meaty. But whether that quest is hard or not is basically just going to depend on how comfortable you are with the Magnamalo and Espinas. Ah, interrupted his thing. I didn't even see that monkey there. Seriously? My cat put down a trap, not next to the Magnamalo we're hunting, but next to the Rajang I was riding. Probably could have gotten the kill during that mount if I didn't dodge onto a trap. Didn't get the horn, but got everything else. I know, I want a dragon weapon for her. She's not silver, not gold. Yeah, Wolfkinson, I am a big fan of the Zelda franchise myself. It's Link to the Past. Seeing a friend play that at his house when I was in elementary school is literally what got me interested in getting a Nintendo. Which at the time is what we called it. It was just a Nintendo. Didn't matter that it was a Nintendo 64 or a Super Nintendo. We just wanted a Nintendo. And I ended up getting the N64 first because one of my a second cousin visited from out of town, and he had an N64 and he was playing Mario 64, and well, that blew my mind seeing him play that, and it's like, okay, I need this. So seeing a Link to the Past and then Mario 64, I ended up getting an N64, and I got Ocarina of Time as soon as I had the N64, or as soon as I could. I also got a Game Boy Color before the N64 for Pokemon, and I got Link's Awakening for that as like the first game that I chose myself, other than Pokemon. Like, I mean, my parents knew I wanted Pokemon, so they got my brother and I Game Boy Colors with a copy of Pokemon Red and a copy of Pokemon Blue. My brother's older, so he got first choice. He chose Blue, leaving me stuck with Red, even though I wanted Blue because I like Blue better. Just color-wise, aesthetically. But, yeah. First game other than Pokemon I got for my Game Boy Color was Zelda Link's Awakening DX, which at the time I just called Zelda DX because, well, that's what the cartridge says. It says Zelda and there's a DX. And it was the only Zelda game on Game Boy at the time. It was Zelda or Zelda DX. But yeah, it's the Zelda franchise it's the earliest Nintendo franchise that I actually got exposed to. I got exposed to Zelda before I got exposed to Mario, and I've been stuck with it ever since. I never had OG Link's Awakening. I only have Link's Awakening DX. Which, honestly, I'm fine with. OG Link's Awakening is just Link's Awakening DX without colors and without the color dungeon. Not that the color dungeon is anything super exciting, but it exists. And personally, I like playing my games in color when possible. Ooh, nice flinch. Nice tail cut Gallius. I'm also going to have to decide what order to play the Zelda games. I might just go by release order, mostly. Like, the ones I'm most looking forward to are absolutely the Game Boy Color titles. Because, I mean, they are very good games that I haven't played in way too long. And I have a great way to play them now. But then as far as that goes, like, if I wait a little longer, I'll have another fun little toy that I can use to make playing them feel more authentic to me. Not that it'll change anything for you folks, but as is, if I'm playing my Game Boy games via my analog pocket on its dock, in terms of input methods, the best I have is just use one of the Nintendo Switch, Super Nintendo controllers, because they've got all the right buttons and they feel pretty good. But I've ordered a thing that's going to be coming from Australia, so it's going to take a couple weeks to get here. So if I delay playing the games right now, then that thing can arrive. And what that thing is a cartridge for a Game Boy Advance that is just, it's a wireless cartridge. It connects to a USB dongle and lets you use said Game Boy Advance into which it is plugged as a controller for whatever the USB dongle is plugged into, which means I could use my Game Boy Advance as a controller to play Game Boy games while recording said Game Boy games that are being played in my analog pocket. Which, yeah, I'll be able to use a Game Boy as a controller to play Game Boy games, and that's how they were designed to be played, with a Game Boy as its controller. So yeah, that would just be the most authentic experience for me that I can get while still recording. That would require spending time playing games that are not the ones I'm most interested in playing first. I don't know if Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 would last long enough. Also, then I'd also have Link to the Past that also came out before any Game Boy Zeldas. So I guess that would be 3 games that I could pad time with. And then I could go on to Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D. Those two, I'm going to have to see if I can get the A button on my recording 3DS to work more consistently. Because as is, the A button on that 3DS is starting to go. And sometimes it accepts inputs just fine, and other times it's like, nah, you didn't press me. And it's really annoying. And I wish I knew what caused it, but I don't. So yeah, I might have to get that dealt with before I do any OOT 3D or Majora's Mask 3D. But whatever. That is going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all of that. And I will see you tomorrow for, I guess, the original Legend of Zelda. See you then, friends.